of technology that we've built to integrate sensors, integrate data into a one-stop shop that we have built for the drone and air taxi industry, but can be lifted into a FedRAMP cloud. We're working with the Army right now at DevCom about low altitude weather using drones and sensors. And we're also looking at how we can do edge compute and we can do networking so that when we get data denial, when we lose our satellites for weather, what are you going to do in the theater? You have nothing. So we have to figure out ways to replicate and data collect organically in the theater, run edge compute, get that data back out to the operators or the drones, and let them operate without too much of an impact. So we're going to start with the weather briefing first, and Marshall's going to show you something.
Good morning, everybody. As Don mentioned, my name is Marshall Hobbs. I am a former Air Force weather person, but I did not do any Air Force weather support. I did Army support. So standing in front of a group of uniforms and talking about the weather is something I'm very comfortable doing. I'm going to be located in the Fort Operating Base Weather Station. My responsibility for this exercise is providing situational awareness of real-time weather data, so that way you guys can fly safely and effectively, as Marcy mentioned, minimizing that risk. James Lewis is going to be driving the computer for me. He's also going to be over with our sensors that we have. He's going to be providing real-time situational awareness, and our CEO, Don Birchoff, is going to be in the Joint Operations Center. The observers, being myself and James, are going to be relaying information about the weather, be it real-time or notional weather for the exercise, to Don, so that way he can inform the decision makers. That is our role, responsibility, and expectation here. So this is our product over here on the right-hand side. This is called V360. The easiest way that I like to explain it is this is a one-stop weather shop. Everything that you need for your operations are right here. Right, so what James is going to do is he's going to pull up a mission cast. So this is going to be your weather brief portion. So if you look at that top section, that is a 24-hour forecast that breaks down hour by hour. If you look, you can see that there is a lot of green on there. Green means favorable conditions. The little bit of yellow that I do see is about surface wind, 250-foot winds. So if those winds become an issue later in the day, that could impact the amount of time that a drone may actually be able to fly. If the drone has to use excess battery power to try and maintain stability in flight, or if they're flying into a headwind, it's going to decrease the amount of time that drone can stay in the air. If that looks like it's going to increase, we'll be sure to keep you guys updated. We also have the ability to customize all of these thresholds. So you saw that page was a lot of green. If you are flying a drone that is much more sensitive to the weather, you can customize those thresholds. That way that data is reflected in your decision-making process. If you're flying a drone that is much more weather averse, or has a much higher weather tolerance, you can change those thresholds. That way that is reflected in your decision-making process as well. We also have an alerting feature, so you can set an alert if you need to know if winds exceed X. It'll automatically ping you with an email, and we can actually set up a route cast. That way it'll actually tell you what the weather is along a planned route during your time of flight. So what James is currently doing is he's actually pulling up Washington Warren Airport, as Marcy mentioned, is one of their other test sites. One of the things that we're going to show here is our ability to show sensors directly through our screen, which is crucial for having situational awareness whenever you're not co-located with your area of operations. So all those little dots that you see on that screen right around Washington Warren Airport are sensors that we placed in that area of operations. So historically, if you are not co-located with your area of operations, you don't really know what's going on there if there's not a METAR nearby. What we can do is we can place weather sensors, and they will populate on this screen, and they will integrate into your forward-facing platform in less than 48 hours. James is currently showing you the NRG LiDAR, and what that is showing is that is a LiDAR that measures from 30 meters off the ground to 300 meters off the ground, and it shows you what the winds are doing throughout the column, and that information is something that has never been available for military operations prior to launching a weather balloon. Now you can get that data every second on the second, which is something we've never had before, which is absolutely crucial for being able to decide how our wind's going to impact your operations. So James is now back at Xelevate, and he's going to show you the sensor that we have placed here. Our sensors are designed so that way they can be co-located and bundled with ADS-B and detect and avoid sensors, so that way you don't have to place them independently. They can be bundled together.
As a reference, that sensor is right by our tent. It is a tempest sensor, so it gives basic weather information. We also have an IntelliSense sensor, which gives ceiling and visibility information. And then we have sensors that also go onto the drones themselves. So I'll do a quick video of our Meteor drone, which has 7 different weather sensors that go on the drone. We also have a weather scout that's being tested through the Air Force. And both these drones have weather sensor information, so you can get live feed of weather information, and then that data can get inputted into our V360 weather platform within 15 minutes of its landing. So I'm just going to show a quick video of the Meteor drone in action at our testbed site in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And the person there, Jeff is going to be talking through kind of the Meteor drone, and then I'll talk a little bit later about what that means for our drone.
Good morning, and welcome to Grand Sky. My name is Jeffrey Spaeth, lead pilot and PM for the Grand Sky Weather Center. Today we're going to be demonstrating the launch, recovery, and data dissemination capabilities of our MM670 Meteor drone in partnership with TruWeather Solutions. As we await arrival of our automated base station aircraft, pictured now, please observe the rapid deployment of our crew portable device. Outfitted with a standard sensor package, today we will be observing wind direction and speed, temperature, dew point temperature, and searching for the presence of known and unknown icing conditions. Stationed at Grand Forks Air Force Base in Emerald, North Dakota, we utilize the Grand Sky Beyond Visual Line of Sight system to empower operations at 9,000 feet MSL and soon nearing altitudes of 17,000 feet MSL upon FAA approval. Upon clearance from air traffic control, the aircraft will deploy for a total time aloft of 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Data transfer from the base station aircraft is automatic, being processed locally before dissemination to our partners. For today, we will have to offload the data via USB drive from the controller. This data can then be transferred online via Mediamatic services. After a short processing period, the data is ready to view in our V360 workbook, ready to be used by pilots, meteorologists, and air services. This seamless data transfer is critical to getting crucial weather data into the hands of key decision makers. Thank you for joining us this morning. And with that, I'll pass it back to you.
So TruWeather Solutions V360 is currently at a place where it is ready to integrate into the battle space to aid decision makers and pilots in their decision-making process with the most up-to-date and most accurate weather information. And with that, if you have any other questions, if you want a more in-depth demo, please feel free to stop by our booth and we can answer any questions and give you guys as in-depth of a demo as you want. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our fearless leader, CEO and retired Colonel Don Burchell.
So I would have given my left arm for that kind of data when I was in the Air Force. So that data, that's what we're lacking. If you wonder why we're inaccurate, it's not because we're idiots, it's because we don't have data. So data is king, and when we talk about the future of bases, we could talk about what a base should have in real weather infrastructure, right? That can really improve protecting the base, because when you think about counter-drone operations, you better be able to see them. Weather impacts every sensor that you use, IR, optical, radar, LiDAR. If you don't know how those systems are being impacted by weather, then you're actually playing with a half a deck. When I was the base commander at Manas, I used to go to the SOC at night when it was foggy because we had optical sensors, and my SOC guys were just sitting around. I go, "How's the weather out there?" They go, "Oh, it looks great." I said, "Oh yeah?" Not the weather. How's the defense out there? "Oh, it looks great." I go, "How could you see? What have you done to change your tactics, techniques, and procedures today because you can't see anything?" I would attack right now. That's what I would do. I could be your red team nightmare as a weather guy. I know how to spoof your data. I know how to make you think it looks something that it isn't, and you won't know it because you'll just think we're inaccurate. You'll just say, "There's the weather guy being inaccurate again." So the whole idea is, Sun Tzu said, "Know the ground, know the weather, and your victory will be total." That was 800 BC. The guy knew what he was talking about. So what we're doing at TruWeather is we're going to play with you today a little bit in this exercise. It's a beautiful day, right? Maybe not. So I just want you to know that's what we bring to the fight. I've been doing this for 40 years. Everything that I've learned about what I don't like about the system, I'm trying to work to fix. We're doing this for the commercial environment. We're going to do it for the Army. The Army has us at DEFCON, and we're hoping that we can work with you guys because we can run this in the FedRAMP cloud if we need to. Thank you.